This is it. We are the final week of the season, the final regular season preview, and it is the biggest one it has been since 2008. What is up, Finn fans? Huge, absolutely huge, pivotal game. The Miami Dolphins hosting the Buffalo Bills for the AFC East Championship. So in this video, I have an absolute ton that I'm going to talk to you, especially after I give my 5 things in the prediction section. There's a lot of stats, information, and stuff that I want to give you guys. So again, huge, like this game, I've been thinking about it since after the Ravens game. I've had butterflies in my stomach, not the good ones. It's like, in my opinion, they gotta win this game. But without further ado, let's jump into this without me rambling on anymore, because some people hate when I ramble too much. We're going to start with the injury report. We're going to start with the Bills. The Bills isn't too bad. Their center, Mitch Morse, popped up with an illness, and he's questionable. So the fact that it is a Sunday night game, if this game was being played tomorrow, he probably wouldn't play. But being that it's a Sunday night game, there is a possibility he could play. But being that the illness popped up today, he might not be 100%, which bodes well for us with Christian Wilkinson Sealer up the middle. But there's that. Outside of that, everyone's good to go. But everyone is still banged up. You got DeMar Hamlin with the shoulder, but he's not their starter. You got Micah Hyde with a neck injury. He was limited on the first day, full the next 2 days. Josh Allen with the neck and finger injury. He had a stinger in his neck that kind of took him out of the Patriots game for a little bit. That's something to look at. And also his right finger, which is on his throwing hand. So again, he might be a little bit cautious of all that stuff. Not saying it's going to take a toll on him, but it is very interesting. But outside of that, nothing really there to look upon. And then you look at the Miami Dolphins. And every time people look at this, they have a little bit of a heart attack. But I want to make you guys feel better, because you see the list, and it's a long list, but you also see the amount of full participations from Devon Achane all the way down to Mike White. Full participation. Teron, Lester Cotton, Liam Eichenberg, Tyreek Hill, Javon Holland, Robert Hunt. Robert Hunt being a full is amazing. Austin Jackson, David Long Jr., Jalen Ramsey, Duke Riley, Zach Sealer, Tua Tagovailoa. Full. Absolute full. So we could take that and we can do that. Right? And then we can even do this, because those two aren't playing. And this is the Dolphins injury report. It's not that bad. It really isn't. We have 3 guys that are questionable. Jerome Baker, who was limited for the past 3 days. Raheem Mostert and Jalen Waddle, who didn't practice and then limited today. Now, the fact that, before I get into Raheem, Jalen, and Jerome, the fact that we're getting Robert Hunt back is huge. We have 3 of our 5 starting offensive linemen back out there. Teron Armstead, Austin Jackson, Robert Hunt. Huge. And if Liam Eichenberg, and he even talked about speeding up the game and trying to, make his assessments and all that stuff better and be more honed in and everything. If he can get all that situated, I feel comfortable with Lester Cotton at left guard. We should be good. And I'm going to talk more about that. You look at these 3, and you look at Jalen Waddle, Jerome Baker, and Raheem Mostert. Now, with Jerome Baker, I would love if he played. Now, he just started his 21-day practice activation on Wednesday. But from what I'm hearing, he looked good. And they're questionable, not doubtful. Same thing with Raheem Mostert. He's questionable, but not doubtful. Here's the thing, right? You see Jalen Waddle. I got to show you guys something with Jalen Waddle. Check this out. This is Jalen Waddle today at practice. I'll play it again. It's this jump here. It looks pretty good to me. I don't know. Again, it's a game time decision, but it looks pretty good to me. And Jalen Waddle came out and said no pain. He felt no pain, no nothing. Mike. I know you're cautious. I know you're looking forward more to the playoffs. I know that you want to win a playoff game. We've all want to win a playoff game. But this game to me is just as important as the playoff game. Because playing home is completely different than playing on the road. So if Waddle says he's good, and if Waddle's doing stuff like that pregame on Sunday night, play him. And from what I'm hearing, there's a possibility that Baker and Mostert can play, and they might be on that limited basis type situation where like you get a lot of Achane, you'll get a lot of Jeff Wilson, but Mostert will be tossed in there here and there, and then a good rotation of Duke, David Long on my brain. I was going to say Byron. David Long and Jerome Baker rotation at that middle linebacker situation. And same thing with Jalen Waddle. He probably won't be out there every down, but if he can play and we need him in certain passing down, certain distances, play him. You got to play him. This is too important of a game to not play him. So there's your injury report. Got a lot of good news today. Hunt. The guys that I wanted to hear good news about, I did. With Hunt, Waddle, Mostert, and Baker. I heard very good news with Hunt's playing, and then the other three, I showed you the video and all that other stuff. So far, so good with that. And the fact that they're playing Sunday night, just like with Morse, their center, the Buffalo Bills center, how he gets more time to get healthy and the illness to probably go through his system for the game on Sunday night. We also get more time for our guys to rest up and then go for pre-workouts before the game starts and show, hey, I'm good to go. I'm going to play. Hopefully when we get the inactives, we don't see Baker, Mostert, or Jalen Waddle on that inactive list. Come on. I've never wanted to win more in my entire life. Oh my goodness. So that is your injury report. Now we're going to go into the breakdown. We're going to start with the Dolphins defense versus the Bills offense here. And the Dolphins defense kind of fell after getting the brakes beaten off of them by the Baltimore Ravens. They went from being the 4th total defense to now the 9th. Their passing is 12th. Their rushing is 7th. It was way better than that, and then the Ravens destroyed them, and that all dropped. Scoring defense also dropped 21st, but we're still 3rd in sacks. We got 1 sack, so we went from 52 to 53. Our third down defense isn't too bad still, and our takeaways are still mid. And you look at the Bills' offense, they are 5th total offense. Their passing is 10th. It's not bad. Their rushing is 7th. Has a lot to do with Josh Allen. Again, same thing with Lamar Jackson. Scoring is 6th. Sacks allowed is 1st. So apparently they don't allow a lot of sacks, but again, that has a lot to do with Josh Allen being an extremely mobile quarterback and a quarterback very hard to get to take down. Third down offense, they are number 1, and giveaways, they are 23rd with 25, which is interesting to me because Josh Allen was at least an interception a game. So the fact that they're 23 in giveaways is very interesting to me. And then we'll flip it. We'll look at the Dolphins offense and the Bills defense. Again, we're still number 1 in total offense, still number 1 in passing. Drop down with rushing to 5th. Scoring offense, we're still number 1. Sacks allowed, we are 4th. Again, we are now on our 11th rotation, 12th different rotation on our offensive line, and still only giving up 30 sacks. Third down offense, we are 9th. In giveaways, we are 19th. A little bit better. I want to see that go down a little bit more. Facing a top 10 defense. 7th in passing. Not that great in rushing. 15th in rushing. Scoring defense is 4th. Sacks is 3rd. Third down defense is 18th. Takeaways is 2. They love to get the ball hawkers. So, again, and I'm going to talk about this in the 5 things. We really have to exploit their rush defense. It's not too great. And the last time we played them, Devon Achane went off for like 100-something yards. Playing again this game, so you really have to take advantage of that, especially getting Robert Hunt back and having Armstead and Jackson. You really have to take advantage of that, and they don't have Milano this time coming around playing them. And they don't have Tre'Davious White, even though Douglas is a pretty good corner. And so I'm looking at it, and I should just talk to you guys about it. Let's get into the PFF. side. I'm like sitting here reading the PFF, and I should just show you guys and talk to you guys about it. So this is our offense versus their defense, and this is what I was looking at. Right, they don't have Milano this time around, but they do still have Dotson, who's a very good linebacker. Hyde and Poyer are still good, but they're up there in age, so they're not as threatening as they usually are. Douglas, good corner. Benford, good corner. It's the interior, right? You got Russo, Jones, and Epeneza. Gotta protect. Even Ed Oliver, who for some reason he's a 65.9, they have a good defensive front. We have to protect with that. You'll probably see a lot of outside runs and not much of the runs in the middle because we probably do fear that interior. Then our guys. If Jalen Waddle can play, it'd be a huge addition. Waddle with Tyreek, your 1 and 3 receiver. Durham Smythe, they have to hit him in the seams. And don't be afraid to utilize Durham Smythe because he was open a ton versus the Ravens, because a lot of these guys are going to be focusing on our receivers, and our running backs out of the backfield have to take advantage of that. Tua Tagovailoa, 4th quarterback, got to play smart football. Devon Achane, number 1 running back in PFF grades, which is so interesting to me. Let him do his thing. He did it last time against them. And then when we flip at our defense versus their offense, this is where the Dolphins can take advantage of it, right? Torrance, McGovern, and if Morse is still sick but playing, you could take advantage of that up the middle with Wilkins and Sealer. Van Ginkel's coming out. This will be Emmanuel Ogbah. He needs a huge game. Austin Kincaid worries me. We always have trouble against the tight ends, especially with Duke Riley, who doesn't know how to take a good angle on anybody. Diggs, just keep Ramsey on Diggs. I know Davis is going to be a problem with his speed, but keep Ramsey on Diggs the entire game. You got who's going to be in the slot. You got Eli Apple, who hopefully has a bounce-back game. Got the number 3 safety Pro Bowl snub, and Javon Holland. Hopefully he's more of 100% after the Ravens game. And you got Elliott, and then obviously you got Josh Allen and Cook, who you really have to worry about in this one. But to me, the biggest worries is Josh Allen and Kincaid. Tight ends always torch us, and so do mobile quarterbacks. They are always our nemesis. Nemesusu. But before we jump into the 5 things, I do want to shout out today's sponsor, and that is BetUS. I talk about them a lot, and they're a very good site. You go to the website. They don't have an app yet. They do have a website, though. Link is in the description. You get 125% bonus. And we're going to listen to what BetUSA has to say.
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
So with BetUS, like I say, they always send us over some cool stuff to look at. Like right here, we have the over-under of most passing yards. And Tua is favorited to have more passing yards than Josh Allen, which I find very interesting. Josh Allen probably because he's more of a running quarterback than Tua is. And then when it comes to the picks, the Dolphins are now 2.5-point underdogs. They were 3. That went down, and I would assume that if Jalen Waddle does play, it'll probably go down a little bit more. But you got to realize as well, normally the home team gives 3 points. Like if it's an even kind of matchup, or, kind of if it's even matchup, the home team gets 3 points. So that means the Dolphins are like 5.5-point underdogs, which is good. I prefer to be the underdogs. That's how my life always works. And let's keep it up. Because screw it. So now we're going to go into the 5 things that I think that the Miami Dolphins need to do if they want to beat this Buffalo Bills team. No specific order. I was just doing my research, doing my film breakdowns, and these are the things that I came up with. Number 1, we have to limit Josh Allen. That seems like a no-brainer, but it's something the Dolphins have struggled with at some points. Facing them, it seems like Josh Allen is now our new kryptonite. Tom Brady was always our kryptonite in Boston, but once he came down here, he wasn't really. Because when Josh Allen doesn't play a good game, it's a close game. Like you last week against New England, he went 15 for 30, 169 yards, 1 interception, a 53.3 passer rating, and they won by like a touchdown. With the Chargers, he had a better game, but against Dallas, they barely had him throw. 7 for 15, 94 yards, 1 touchdown, 89.3 passer rating. And then you look at the Kansas City game where they won by a field goal. He was 23 for 42. That's a 54.8 passer rating, 233 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, a 68.8 passer rating. So you limit him and you make him not the world beater Josh Allen like he was against the Jets or like he was against us with the 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. You can make it a close game and you give yourself a shot. So you got to limit Josh Allen, especially with his running, because he's not like Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson he's fast. He's really fast and he's elusive. Whereas Josh Allen, he's not really fast. He is fast. He's not really fast, but he's got that bigger body type. So he's hard to bring down. But he is sloppy with the football at times, because if you remember in the playoff game last year, we did force him to fumble a few times. So got to limit Josh Allen and make it a very messy game for him. Number 2 on my list, we need that elite Tua. And I say this all the time. We need that elite Tua. Now, Tua had a bad game against the Ravens. I understand there was the 2 dropped touchdowns, but still he had a bad game. He threw 2 dumb interceptions. He was missing open guys. He had a bad game. It is what it is. Quarterbacks have bad games. No one has 17 perfect games. It is what it is. But we need him to have a bounce back. You saw what happened with Brock Purdy. He had 4 interceptions against the Raiders, and he bounced back. Yes, it was against an inferior opponent, and we are not facing an inferior opponent. But we need Tua to play smart, bounce-back football. All season, Tua has bounced back from the stupid games, and he's bounced back from the multiple interception games. He has played better. He has learned from his mistakes, and this is the game that we need that. He has now had his 12th different iteration of this offensive line. 12 different iterations. And he is the he's at the bottom of the league when it comes to time to throw. But he's still top in passer rating, top in passing yards, top 5, 6 in passing touchdowns, top 3 in passer rating. He's smart with a football until he feels like he needs to play hero ball. And I talked about that with the Ravens game. There was times where he was like, I can make that throw, and he would try to fit it in there, and it's like, you don't need to, though. You got guys open. We know you can make that throw, but just take what they're giving to you, and that's what we need in this game. We don't need Tua to get frazzled. We don't need Tua to feel the pressure and feel like, I need to make these throws, and I need to save the team, and I need to do this, and I need to do that. Just make the throws, read your defense, and play elite Tua football. Because we've seen it throughout the season. We have seen him play elite football. So we need him to have those games, especially against Buffalo. Number 3 thing, we need a clean game. We need a clean game. These are the type of situations where we cannot allow stupidity to lose us this game. Stupidity kind of gave the game away. Not necessarily gave it away, but like we started to fall off against the Ravens. 3rd and 16. You let them convert a 3rd and 16 because you couldn't get off your blocks and you took poor angles because you couldn't make the tackle. That was a world of a difference when you stopped that 3rd and 16. The drop touchdown to Tyreek Hill, world of a difference. We're up 14-0 going into the second quarter. If those 2 things and the 2 stupidity and they clean that up, the penalties, the false starts, the holdings, especially the holdings, we get a nice run or we got to make a nice play and then there's illegal motion or holding or whatever you want to say. Those things need to be cleaned up. The play calling needs to be cleaned up on offense and defense. The miscommunications on defense needs to be cleaned up. That's what I'm talking about with a clean game. We have to play a perfect game. I'm not saying that the Bills are so much better than us, but in a game where you're playing an opponent that's equal to a little bit better than you, you can't give them more time and more possessions with the football. Especially when I think it's going to be a shootout and there'll be like 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 stops on our defense to give us an opportunity to take a lead. You got to take the lead. You can't falter and you can't give up stupid plays. So need a clean game. with the Miami Dolphins. The number 4 thing on here, you got to stop the run. If you looked at the game against Dallas, they ran it down their throats. Passing yards, 85. Rushing yards, 266. Diggs has rushed for over 100 yards three or four times this year. Not Diggs. My apologies. Cooks. And you got to limit him. You look at the Patriots game, he barely broke 80 yards. If you can contain him, and as well this coincides with Josh Allen, because if you can contain him as well, and you force them to become one-dimensional, and you can get them off the field, it's huge. Now, this is fundamental football stuff I'm now talking about, but we need to stop the run. We need to make them pass it, and we need to consolidate what Josh Allen's doing. Once he starts playing backyard football is when there's a problem, where plays break down and the corners can't cover for too long. You need to contain him, or at least get pressure on him and make him make the dumb throws. Because like I said, how many games has this man thrown an interception in? There is 3 games. 3 games out of the 17 he's played that he did not throw an interception. Week 2 against the Raiders, he didn't throw an interception. He didn't throw an interception against Miami, and he didn't throw an interception against Dallas, but that's because he didn't throw the ball. Outside of that, he has thrown an interception in every single game. So make him throw it, contain him in the pocket, stop the run. And the 5th and final thing, got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. Keeps the offense on the field, keeps our defense off the field, keeps them fresh. When the Miami Dolphins rush for 26 or more times in a game, we are 9-1. When we rush for 24 or less times in a game, we are 2-4. We got to run the ball. That seems to be the Bills' Achilles heel for the most part, is kind of trying to stop the run, especially against us. Like you saw the playoff game, you saw last year's December game when we were running and we were very successful, especially with Raheem Mostert. Got to run the ball. It will open up the play action. It will force them to be honest in the middle of the field. It will force them to jump the plays if we try to run it, or if we do play action, opening up things over the top. All of this is incredibly important. And again, it's back to fundamental football, stopping the run and running the ball. And you got to be consistent with it, especially on 3rd and 4th and 1s. That's what killed us last year against this team, thinking, oh, we're going to pass it here. We're going to do this. Just run the ball. Run the ball to the outside, whatever. Trust your guys up front. Run the ball. That being said, here's my prediction, and here's all the information I got for you guys. Now, the Buffalo Bills are feeling themselves. Whether you follow Dan Mitchell, whether you follow anyone on Twitter, whether you look at the comment section, probably in this video, whether you look at the comment section in any of my videos, there are Bill fans chirping. They think this game is over and done with. They think they won. They think that they're going to beat down on the Miami Dolphins. They would like to bring up the fact that, we won 2 out of the last 12, 13 games, and we suck, and, it's going to be another one of those situations, even though you look at the last 4 games, right? This last game this year sucked. You beat the crap out of us. It is what it is. I'm not even going to throw injuries in there. I'm not even going to do any of that. I'm just going to own up to it. You beat us pretty bad. 48-20. But you look before that. In the playoffs, Skylar Thompson as our quarterback, you won by 3 points. In December, you won by 3 points. In September, we won by 2 points. Let's not act like recently, especially last year, it was a fight between these two teams. You don't see me coming out here saying, we're going to destroy Buffalo. This is going to be a slobber knocker. We owe it to our fan base and yada yada to destroy this team. No, because I've seen how we're playing, and especially at home, and I've seen what the past 4 games have been. Like I said, this past year, you beat us down. But before that, it was close. By field goals, we've won. By field goals, you guys have won. So it's going to be different. Now, the Dolphins need to pull their heads out of their butts. We went from having a 3-game lead in the division to now it's up to us to take it and win it. Now, we've faltered. We win that Tennessee Titans game. This isn't even a discussion. We're resting our starters this game. Good luck, Buffalo. You beat us, you're in the playoffs. If not, whatever. not our chair, not our problem. That's probably what's happening this game if we beat Tennessee. But we didn't. So what's our problem? Because we faltered a 3-game lead. They need to take advantage. They need to take control, and they need to win this game. Don't be embarrassed. Don't come out here and falter and play sloppy and turn the ball over and then just have Buffalo beat us again 48-20 and make us look like the laughing stocks of the NFL that we lost the past 2 games when we needed to win at least 2 out of the past 3 and we're 1-1 just to have some resemblance that we are competitive in the playoffs. We're getting points at home too. 5. And it's embarrassing. Not a lot of people are picking Miami. I looked on the NFL's YouTube channel, and they have 1 person picking Miami. I think some other people are picking Miami, but we're the underdogs. And we had a 3-game lead in this division. The Bills were 6-6 at one point. They thought their season was over, and we just let them right back in. So we got to make this close. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Bills, we should fear the Bills. I think this is going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think, the Bills, the way the Bills think that, they're going to destroy us and we have no chance. Even some Dolphin fans are like, we should just rest our starters. We have no chance in this game. We're too injured. It's at night. We don't have the heat advantage. It's actually going to rain till 6 o'clock. And for all my Miami guys, you know what it means when it rains till 6 o'clock and then the game is 2 hours later. That humidity is going to be disgusting. So that's the thing. But also look at the past 4 to 5 games. I'm going to say 4 games the Bills have played. Now, they barely beat the Patriots 27-21. Barely beat the Chargers 24-22. And that was without Justin Herbert. And that was with Zappy versus the Patriots. Now, they did their work against the Dallas Cowboys 31-10. Kansas City barely beat them. If it wasn't for an offsides, probably would have lost 20-17. And all those games, Josh Allen didn't do too good. So the Miami Dolphins need to take advantage of this. They need to play their football. And one last thing I'm going to say before I give you guys my score prediction is there's this narrative. 52% of the stadium is going to be filled with Bills fans. There's no way of knowing that. There was somebody on Twitter, and I appreciate her for setting the facts straight, because somebody wanted to come out and be like, you don't know what you're talking about, how long have you, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And she just came out and, shut them down. They asked her, how long have you worked in ticket brokering that you would know this? And she came back, her name's Becca Friedez. She came back and said, I've worked for one for 12 years now. I know how vivid projections work, and it's done by tracking the IP address of the purchasers and making a projection about the makeup of the crowd. The issue is they only have access to their data, so the projections are flawed. So essentially, Buffalo might have a certain amount of people coming down for the game. That doesn't mean they're all Bills fans. I've had people tell me from UK. I have people telling me from all over, pictures of people coming down to Miami for this game. So to think that it's going to be 52% Bill fans, I highly doubt it. If you're at the game, message me during the game, either DM me or whatever, and tell me what the crowd ratio is. But I have the Dolphins winning this. Not only because I feel like it's going to happen, but I need it to happen. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a fight. I'm not like these Bills fans that think that, we're going to destroy them. This or that. Jalen Waddle plays, Mostert plays, Jerome Baker plays. I feel a little bit more confident. But I feel a little bit confident. I think we'll get this. So I have the Dolphins winning in a close one, 24-21. I think they're going to score. I don't think we're going to stop the Bills, but I think that the Dolphins need to answer. So comment below. Bills fans, I know you're in here. Do you really think you're going to destroy us? Comment below. This is for the title. This is it. Number 2 seed or number 6 seed. And for Buffalo, it potentially could be you win or you're out. So there's a lot of pressure on the Bills. A lot of pressure on the Bills. Not so much on the Dolphins because they're still in the playoffs. So comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you later tonight. I think I'm going to go live later tonight for an hour live stream. Kind of just chatting and everything. Probably around 11:30-ish. Come hang out. You can do it for an hour. And I think it'll be fun. But Matt, like usual, stay classy. Offense up.